FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And as we get into this video guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a New York session. Last video we did a London session. Today we're going to go ahead and go through a New York session. So hopefully, again, it's the same process. Hopefully you'll get to see and learn what my process is whenever I'm trading the New York session, and specifically what I'm looking for and what do I do in certain situations. So I hope that this video will give you that inside look to hopefully better improve your trading. So guys, if you like this type of content, please like and share the content and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado guys, let's get this New York session started. FX Nation, what's up guys? As we're looking at trading the US session, a couple pairs I'm looking at is first one 0 JPY. We're coming off a brand new peak formation low. So what I'm looking for on this one is I'm looking to see if the 50 or the middle of the range will hold price action. And if it does, that would give me a good type 3 pattern to trade in the New York session. So that's one pair that I'm looking at. Another pair that I'm looking at is Euro AUD, and it's actually developing right now. We're coming off a peak formation low, so we're looking for buys, and I'm looking for a type 1 setup here. We thought we almost had one here at the beginning or at the end of the London session, but obviously it was getting towards too late of the London session, so no action took place. Looks like we had a possible stop hunt here in between the London and New York session. So now we're looking for a candle like this to see if we can get out of that, out of this area here and go back up. So the trade setup itself, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for something that's going to be somewhere like this. Maybe a 16 pip stop loss, and then we're looking for 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and somewhere around there. Now, because we don't have the EMAs in our favor, obviously we won't be able to use them. So we're just going strictly off of 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We would be able to normally use the 50, but the 50 itself obviously won't give us enough for a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So the real question or the key to this is this next candle. What happens? Does this candle finish like this, and then do we get a pullback, most importantly? Because that pullback is what you would use to essentially get you into the trade. Okay, so for me, let's say you could use this could be a scenario where you could use a buy limit order to get the entry that you actually want, which would be somewhere here. So you could do that if you want to, and you could do a buy limit order on this, and it would put a buy limit order, and then you could drag out your stop loss, and then obviously your take profit on it. So that would be one trade. But again, it all comes down to, does this candle finish like this, and does it finish above the 13, which is a good entry trigger for us. But the most important one is, do we get a retracement candle, pullback candle, essentially, and that would allow us to get into the trade where we want to get into the trade, not where the market is wanting us or chasing us to get into the trade. I'm also looking at pound USD, looking for a sell option on this one, and we're just coming off a peak formation high, so I'm looking for sells. And the ideal setup here would be like a type 1 pattern that pins to the 800 EMA, which I would assume, this being the first leg, that it's done that already. And essentially now I'm looking for potentially a second leg to develop, and then we could see about possibly getting into a setup on that one. Euro JPY seems to be holding pretty good so far to that 50. We'll keep an eye on this, and again, we still have to have an entry setup. We don't have an entry setup yet on this at all, so until we get that, we don't enter into anything. Here we have that candle. I'm actually going to take this off and cancel it, because as you can see, if we were to leave it on there, it might trigger us, get us into the trade, and we don't want to get into the trade until this candle is actually finished and we get the next one. All right, so you see we ended up with a railroad track here, but not a really strong one. I want to see if we can maybe get a pullback on this candle or not. And I think even if you would have kept that order there, it wouldn't have been hit anyways, right now at least, because it was 608. So we'll see if that gets hit or not. Well, let's take a look real quick at pound USD. Nothing yet. Pound CAD looking very similar to pound USD, where ideally I'd be looking for a second leg, and that'll give me a reversal trade. But again, we have to get that second leg first, so this could take some time to develop here. The pound NZD, pound AUD pairs, not really interested in trading those right now. The only one that does look kind of interesting would be pound AUD more than pound NZD, for the simple reason that we had a nice pullback here right to the 50. So if this behavior continues, then that could lead me to getting a continuation trade, because we're coming off of a peak formation high, so we're looking for sells anyways. So for me, what I would need this to look like is I would need this candle. I would need this candle right here to look like this, or at least match this intensity right here. Okay, that would lead me to get this as a double star pattern here with, you know, two dojis in the middle, and then we can get into a trade there. But until that happens, that's what I'm looking for as an entry trigger. And so you can see you don't want to make any kind of decisions essentially until you get a closed candle. So every decision that you make on your trade, on your entry, on anything, has to be based off a candle that's already closed, not a candle that's actually open. So out of all the pairs so far, honestly, those have been the ones that I'm looking at the most, that seemed to make sense to me to trade. I do want to keep watching this Euro JPY, Euro AUD. Here we go. So it did not provide a big enough pullback. You could see the pullback was not big enough. So the trade itself, if we were to enter it now, it would look something like this, where we're now risking, you know, what, 17 pips. To me, that's a little bit too much. What I would do, though, is I would be willing to enter right at the end of that candle there, and have the setup be like this. So 15 pips stop loss, something of that nature. But let's see if this even triggers to begin with. I think we may miss this trade because of it. We'll see. Let's keep an eye on this. So what I need on this one here is the same thing. I'm looking for this candle to be a very big bullish candle like this candle is, to match it. That'll give me basically a star pattern as well, and then basically a pullback on the next candle is what I would need to enter this particular trade. Nothing happening there, and again, we're just waiting. So we'll come back to these once something has happened, but at least you know what pairs I'm looking at, why I'm looking at them, and what my thought process is for these specific setups. So Euro JPY, Euro AUD, we're looking at Pound USD, possibly Pound CAD because it looks the same, and then Pound AUD. I'm not looking at any other pairs. That's plenty of pairs to look at, and that's it. So we'll keep an eye out on this, and then we'll come back once something happens on these. And our trade never triggered. Now, here's a couple things to for thought. Is number one, the trade that we wanted to get, we didn't get. Even if we would have left this at the original position, remember that the red line here, remember the red and blue line here, the red line has to actually close below your entry to trigger that. So this would not have been triggered anyways. So the only way that I would have ever gotten into this trade would have been if I manually entered the trade. Okay, so but this is what happens. This is what could happen if you want to use buy limit orders and you want a very specific entry, and that's the entry that you want. This, what you're seeing right now, could very well happen in the sense of you missing a trade, basically. Okay, so always keep that in mind. That could happen. On Euro JPY, we're still waiting on Euro JPY to do something. So it's still not doing anything. So not really, nothing there to do, or nothing really there to say. Pound USD looks like it doesn't want to do a second leg. It just did one railroad track here, not even in the box. That pin to the 800, and then it wants to go. It's cool, whatever. Again, for me, this would not be a trade setup because I want a second leg that happens inside of the New York session. If that does not happen, then a trade for me doesn't happen. I don't care if this goes down 250 pips. Okay, at the end of the day, I'm trading my plan, and there are specific rules that I have in my plan that are in place for a reason. So pound CAD is going to look very similar as well. I think all the pound pairs started moving like this, but pound AUD still there. We're still waiting. Again, nothing has happened yet. So we're still waiting on that one. So really the only pairs that I'm really interested in now are pound AUD and Euro JPY. That's it. Euro AUD, obviously it's, it's taken off, and I'm sure it'll probably end up hitting take profit. That would have been the good trade. And if we look at actually its little brother, Euro NZD, pretty much had the exact same thing happen on it. And actually this one would have probably allowed us to enter the trade in super early, because this did give us a star pattern here, and didn't catch it, wasn't paying too much attention to it, and so the trade was missed. And so what I want you guys to get out of this is the fact that even me, that has been doing this for 11 years, even me, I miss out on trades. The biggest difference between me and everybody else is that I just don't care if I miss a trade, because I know tomorrow's another day, the day after that's another day, and there's going to be more opportunities coming. So to me, it doesn't matter. This is just one day. One day does not embody my entire trading, career. So very important to keep that into perspective, right? That yes, these would have been great trades, but you know what? I chose to go this route of buy limit orders on this one when I should have went for a manual entry. And that's what it is. Really can't do anything else about it. But here we go. We may get an opportunity here on Euro JPY, and then maybe on Pound AUD. So we'll come back as these develop. All right, so looking at Euro JPY, where are we right now? We just had a really nice candle that helped us create a very good star pattern, a triple star pattern, meaning with the 3 dojis here. Now, what I really want though is I need a pullback candle, because that candle being that big in size, I don't think it's going to be a good entry. So yeah, I'm going to need, let's say, a pullback candle somewhere in here. Let's see if that takes it there. Now, if I were to get that, I could do something like this. And you see what I mean? Even literally just missed it by a couple of pips, if that. If it comes down a little bit closer, I'll manually enter the trade. But honestly, I want my entry. And so the trade itself will look something like that. As far as Pound AUD, there's really nothing happening on it yet. You see why we wait for the candle to close, because if we would have, this candle here was completely engulfing. If we would have jumped into that and chased the trade, look where we would be at right now. This is why you make every trading decision you make solely on the candle that's already closed, not the one that's open. It's triggered into that trade, so now we'll just let it do what it does. We'll point out our take profit there. Our take profit is 33 pips, and that's it. We'll let it go. We do have, I believe, some action happening on Pound AUD. You see, a second ago, the second candle right here is completely engulfed. So again, we need this candle to actually be engulfed to help us create the star pattern here, and then we could talk about an entry and things of that nature. If it was an engulfing candle, I would like the entry to be somewhere here, and then possibly do like a 15 pip stop loss, even though I am able to take up to maybe 25-30 pip stop loss on the specific pair because of the value of each pip. But essentially the trade itself, I would basically just want to come down, back down to the 800 and take profit there. So for this trade again to be viable, I need a confirmation. And so the confirmation for me is going to be getting an engulfing candle, and then right after that getting a pullback. Alright guys, so here we have pound AUD on this candle, and I believe if I'm going to enter this trade, I want to enter this trade up here, and I want to sell it on a limit order. And that's where I feel comfortable at taking a position on this trade. I don't feel like chasing the trade or anything like that, so that's where I feel comfortable at. If it comes back up on a retracement to get it, great. If it doesn't, oh well, it is what it is. I'm not going to I don't want to chase a trade. This is already at 19 pips would be the risk, so that's where I'll set it, and then I'll leave it. Euro JPY, same thing. I'm going to leave it, and then we'll come back in 6 candles. We'll come back in 6 candles, and then we'll see how we're doing, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Alright guys, so as we're checking in on Euro JPY, obviously it's doing its thing and it's going, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to let it do its thing. If we look at pound AUD got me into a trade on this candle here, this blue candle retraced, got me into the trade, and so right now we're just holding. We're not going to touch the trade, and we're just going to let it do what it does. If it takes me out, it takes me out. I don't care. And that's it, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll keep this thing going here. This one just got into the trade, obviously, so we got quite a while for the 6 candles to go. But on Euro JPY, hopefully it'll hit take profit, and we can go from there. But other than that, we'll give you another update once this finishes through, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the video. Real quick on Euro AUD, you could see that, man, that would have been a really good trade. That would have been a really good trade. It blew through our take profit and on more. So that was really, really good trade that we missed. But again, if you're a trader that decides to use buy limit orders, this is an example of where you could miss out on a trade. So you have to be okay with that if you're going to use buy limit orders. All right, this is the one downside to using buy limit orders, is this. But as long as you're okay with it, and you're not going to be pissed off about it, then continue to use them. They're a good tool to allow you as a trader to get the actual trade that you want. So that way, if you lose the trade, you can't be mad at losing the trade that you got what you wanted. So again, it's a give and take situation, but it is what it is. Okay, but we'll get back. We'll come back to you guys once it gets closer to either taking profit or does something else. All right. All right, guys. So as you can see here, we are like literally almost about to take profit. I mean, I would be stupid or dumb to tell you not to take profit, or move your stop loss up to, to pretty close to guarantee your profits there. So that's what I've done, and that's it. I'll leave it there. What you could do in certain scenarios is you could lift the take profit portion and then just let it go, as long as your stop loss is, it's obviously protecting your profit already. But honestly, like, I'm okay with getting hit with the stop loss because I know the trade itself went, how I expected it to, which I'm perfectly fine with. And so just move the stop loss up and let it be. On this one here, not doing anything, just continuing to move sideways. So I'm only 3 candles in. So I got about three more candles to go, and it's only, what, 10:45 or so. So probably about at 11:30, I'll go ahead and I'll get out of the trade, or if I'm in significant profit, I'll let it go. But right now, looks like it might take me out. I don't know. We'll just let this thing play out and let it go. Again, I'm still within the 3 candles. That's why I'm not taking myself out. I'm not doing anything drastic, any crazy decisions or anything like that. I got the trade that I wanted, so I know what I'm risking to begin with. So if I get taken out, I get taken out, and I'm okay with that. On Euro JPY, we're pretty much not going to talk about that one anymore, because you can already see it's either going to take me out or going to take profit. So regardless, either way, we're going to be good on that one. All right, guys. So as you see, pound AUD got taken out. And so that's it. That'll be it for this particular trade. So on Euro JPY, we got taken out here as well, which is fine. I'm happy with it. And that's it. And the trading day essentially for the US session is over for me. So 1 win, 1 loss. Obviously I won more money than I lost, so it was still a winning day for me, even though it was 1 for 1. But that's it, guys. So that's me trading the US session now. So you can see my thought process and how I think about going into a US session. I think it could have been a lot better, as you see now, Euro JPY going, but I think it could have been a lot better, obviously, if we would have done, the manual entry here instead of a buy limit order. But it is what it is. But that's the only real thing that I got essentially out of today that could have been better, obviously, was not to use that buy limit order. But you lose some, you miss some, and you win some. And that's just how it goes. I think the key is going to just be consistency and patience every day that you come into the markets, because you can see there's so many different pairs that you could possibly look at or trade, but it's just really focusing in on the pairs that show you what specifically you're looking for according to whatever strategy you're using and whatever your trading plan is. That's the important thing. All right, but guys, hopefully you got a lot out of this video. If you want me to do more sessions like this, either more of London or more of US session, let me know in the comments below. Definitely like the video, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, have a good rest of your week, guys. Trade smart and trade consistently. Guys, if you need any more help, join us on FXN Plus. It's available right now on fxntrading.com. You'll get a lot of different value from FXN Plus. For example, blueprint videos, 9 sessions, 14 hours long, over 100 hours right now of group session videos from the past 2 years. Over 100 hours we're up to right now on these sessions. You also get weekly sessions every Sunday. Ask as many questions as you want. I actually give a weekly analysis during those sessions, and also give a midweek analysis that I put up on the website for everyone to see as well. You get access to the MT4 and MT5 indicators that everyone asked for. That's how you get access to them. Private group, trading plan, custom trading journal. I mean, everything you could possibly want is on FXN Plus. Guys, join us there. If you need any more help, we'll be more than happy to help you. We'll see you on FXN Plus.